Don't Join Team Red is the new TF2 horror series on the block, and it is something that I have found to be not only terrifying, but telling a story that involves manipulation, secrets, and something sinister happening within the Red Team. The series is created by Daft Spunky, and it felt like the first time we got Red Team actually getting some of the horror treatment that we have seen the Blue Team getting in many other horror series. But today, I wanted to figure out what was happening in this series, explore the secrets within the videos, and theorize on what it all means. So let's go ahead and jump into episode 1 of Don't Join Team Red. The first episode introduces us to Redmond Man, the CEO of Red Team. And of course, he wants to kill off his brother, Blue Tark Man, in which what is offered is money for the job, in which we get a pop-up on the screen that says, "Join now, get red, get rich," with a disclaimer that says Redmond and Co. are not responsible for any damage during service, including injury, loss of life, or mental disorders, as well as that your contract cannot be terminated and lasts until your services are deemed no longer necessary. But as the screen sits there for a while, it switches suddenly from get red, get rich to get red, get dead, before transitioning to this screen. At the moment, I'm not sure what this image is, but it looks like to be something similar to a color hue, in which it shows multiple shades of colors. For the rest of the video, we are then talked to and warned by an unknown person, in which they warn the person watching this to not sign the contract and that we are given false promises. Following this, we are given a hint of who this could be, with them saying that they are in this picture, which is our group of the TF2 mercs. We are then told that you'll be getting this shiny new gear, but it doesn't matter because you'll be in it for eternity, in an endless war, and that when you die, you are cloned forever. We are shown multiple images, with that of the face of horror on the soldier's face, as well as a soldier getting on his knees sitting by a pile of Demo Man corpses, and that some of the mercs have been having trouble coping with this hell. With the red soldier shown to be pointing a gun at himself, and on screen it flashes the words, "End me," multiple times, before we hear a gunshot go off, which won't matter because they will respawn anyways. And we also learn that Dr. Ludwig, aka the medic, tried to stop and help with this, but he lost his mind, and we are shown this. And at the end of the video, we learn that someone has made a machine to go back in time to prevent anyone from signing Redmond's contract, the engineer, in hopes of stopping them from ever entering the hell of joining the Red Team. This episode being a strong start to the series with a story of someone trying to prevent everyone else from joining the Red Team in the first place, through time travel. We are given glimpses into the future of a hellish life that has broken some and kept going by others by the hopes of getting more gear and money. But I bet you're all thinking, what's the point of all this money and stuff if you're stuck living in this war with no escape? And in terms of the first tape and the text manipulations, we can assume that these have been all manipulated to get a message out. Episode 2 is titled Clones. We start off with propaganda by the Red Team to entice Blue Team members to join, but we are swiftly shown that this was used as an example on a slideshow for the Blue Team to not believe the Red Team's lies and are told that Redmond is your enemy. The footage is again interrupted by the engineer, and we learn that even through the warnings, they still did not listen and joined anyway, or at least some of them did. He also mentions how he hopes that the message does not get out to random people, and then are told to what happened to the time travel machine yesterday, and shown this.
Out of my way! Out of my way! Go!
We're shown the scout slamming his head on the time machine, but something is wrong with him. He has no face, and attempts to shoot the engineer. When the trigger is pulled, we see something flash on screen. Thank you for your mercy. Thank you for letting me rest. Thank you for giving me peace. We are told that these things that look like defective clones started appearing when that original broadcast was shown, and that they now watch them and are shown this footage of them in the distance crawling on all fours, like animals. And apparently the medic is back to normal, which I am unsure of how, because it looked like he went completely insane with his eyes missing, but perhaps on another respawn he came to his senses and is now studying what these things are. Demo Man, or Tavish, thinks these things are devils, and the medic disagrees and says they are most likely a defect in the cloning process. But at this point, we should not trust him, and reason being that when he says this, we see his eyes change to this. Something is still wrong with the medic. They're attempting to save the soldier and scout and are shown that these are still these faceless monsters. But when we are shown them, something flashes on screen again. It says, Give me peace multiple times, and why do you keep me alive? Please, I'm in agony. My legs, please. Give me peace. And we are told again that if they do not listen, this will happen to them. And at the end, we are shown on screen again the Redmond is your enemy screen. But something is off, with D and E switching with each other, spelling demon in Redmond's name. From this episode, we are given hints to multiple new things. First is that these clones exist now, and they have no face, but only started to show up once the time machine was used. Second is that I believe that the medic cannot be trusted due to him switching just like that from being literally insane. It just doesn't seem right to me. And finally, that even after sending these messages back in time, they still joined Red Team. As well as there could be something more to this Red Team than just scientifically horrific creations, but something biblical in horror, with a chance that these things could be demons, but I'll hold off on that. Episode 3 is titled Infiltrator. We are shown the engineer, and he tells us that he has gotten in contact with the spy. But along with this, the time machine, now called the Traveler, is messing up, with electronics and other things malfunctioning, which could also include the cloning machine. And of course, the medic seems to be the most curious about the engineer's machine, with the engineer not telling anyone else what it is. And the engineer believes it to be because he is a man of science, but we can assume that the medic wants to destroy this thing, or use it for something else. We are shown a communication network in which the spy is en route to the base, but the base is surrounded by defective clones. The clones becoming more aggressive and now just attacking on sight, and they can even talk. And we are shown this. We are shown that the clones are shooting each other as well. And the engineer comes up with the theory that they are doing this so they can keep responding to evolve more and more and increase their capabilities and intelligence. They have set up traps for the clones to prevent them from coming in, and we learn that the demo is refusing to be treated by the medic, which, I mean, we know he's right in doing so. From here, the engineer realizes something, that he did not warn the spy of the sentries. We see something flash on screen. Why did you do this to me? Why did your machine shoot me? Were you plotting to get rid of me all along? It's okay. I forgive you. I've seen all the things waiting outside in the dark, coming from the hills. You probably haven't met those ones yet. I prefer this end than facing them. You did me a favor. Thank you. I wish I would never respawn. Luckily, even after the death of the spy, they were able to get the intel, but what the demo man feared was true. They are devils. But when this is found out, this happens.
Devil man is spy.
The medic was a clone this entire time, and now the demo man has been shot, and only 4 remain. We see a flash on screen during this again, with the engineer saying Spy's death is my fault. He could have lived. It's my fault. I could have checked our comms, I should have waited by the door, I should have put a sign in the hall. So many ways I could have saved him. I failed him when he trusted me. Now the engineer has become paranoid of the few that remain, being him, Sniper, Pyro, and Heavy. The engineer leaves one last message and says that he will broadcast the information Spy provided and hopefully it reaches the people in the past. Following this, we are shown the color hue and it's the different shades of red and blue. So we learn that these things are possibly demons from the intel that was given. How they exist and what exactly their plan is really unknown, but we can assume based on this video that they want to evolve and, well, become stronger. And it's possible that this was the plan all along from Redmond, these monsters that would become so strong that they could destroy Blue Team. And of course, we can't be sure if anyone else is a clone. Episode 4 is titled Conquerors. The beginning of this episode shows us the cloning machine in process of making a clone, and it's obvious that it is not working as intended. Following this, we are shown a conversation between Blutarch and someone else, in which we learn of this other person's war machines that are not being put to good use due to the territories being taken over by Blue being empty ghost towns with no red members even fighting back. They have all disappeared. This conversation is then interrupted by the engineer who tells us that Tavish, or Demo, is not dead and was saved by his helmet, and the clones are now called ghouls, having taken out the generators, which is already showing us that they have increased intelligence, even more than before. Now the team has decided that they have to fix the generator and fight these things. We are shown this awesome fight scene between the monsters and them, which y'all should go see for yourself in the original video. But they managed to get it running again and go back inside. The engineer lets us know that there are these things in the distance with glowing red eyes. Tons of them, which is what the spy referenced before in the previous episode. When we were shown this, we see something else coming on screen. You've come outside. You think you're brave, don't you? We will rip you apart one by one, but not before we drive you insane with fear. Kill as many of us as you want. Your munitions will run out eventually. Your night hunter will need to sleep eventually. Your machines will malfunction eventually. These lines coming from these monsters, seeming to say that these things will never get tired and will always have energy. They are monsters that do not rest. The engineer goes over the intel brought to them from the spy previously, in which he comes to the conclusion that these are not actually devils, but rather these are a new generation of clones that, well, have just ended up going wrong and turning into more monsters rather than soldiers. But it's a theory on the engineer's end, and Demo is not convinced yet. They have decided they have to reset the cloning machine, and with this, they decide to get in contact with the blue team as a last resort to help with these monsters. They notice a plane going over their base and try to signal for help, but they are ignored. And what turns out to be a scouting plane from the blue side, they decide to take this opportunity to attack the red team, rather than help. From here, we see the blue engineer is learning that the red team actually needs help, but from the real red medic. We learn that he was hiding and made his way out, but says that he knew that the cloning machine was a bad idea, and that he knows that a machine can't create a soul. And he also knew that Redmond went into the darkness in desperation to win, and doomed his soul and chose to sacrifice his own soldiers. But he got the ultimate power, and cannot control it. The last thing we see of the medic is that his eyes are still gone, and that he needs help from the blue medic. The final shot showing us the text again, Redmond is our enemy, but with the word our being red and the word enemy being blue, and again Redmond having the word demon in his name. This is all the episodes in the series so far, with more to come in the near future. But what do I think is happening here? Well, we know that this is the usual battle between red and blue team, but turned dark, with one side getting so desperate the red team, or more specifically Redmond, has turned to untested and evil forms of weapons to win the fight. The clones being this imperfect creation that Redmond did not want to wait to perfect, so pushed the machine to its limits and now created endless soldiers that are closer to monsters, but not just monsters that are mindless, but rather growing in intelligence, being a threat to not just the blue team, but the red team and probably the whole world. With the best thing for everyone is to destroy this machine for good, which seems to be where the series is heading to, if they even can destroy it. Now, there's also the question of any of these messages that the engineer has sent are reaching the red team from the past, and honestly, I don't think any of them are. If so, none of this would be happening, because who would see this and decide they should keep going and join this red team? And of course, there's the whole mystery of this thing that looms over the story, and that's if these things are devils or just defective clones, and the question of where Redmond is at the moment. Well, we have the engineer's theory that it's defective clones from the machine, and the demo's theory that they are devils. And we have the medic, who said that Redmond turned to the dark arts to create these things, which could mean devils, but he could have just meant that none of this was ethical and being vague in his wording. And Redmond is the person behind all this, the man who created the monsters, essentially. We have only seen him in the propaganda ads, and we never see his face. It only makes me think that maybe Redmond himself is a clone, or is no longer human, based on what the medic said as well. But right now he hasn't been seen, and we only really see the images of him with the devil mask, but that could be just the blue team propaganda posters. It's all odd, and hopefully we get those answers soon. This series is great, and Daft Spunky has done an amazing job with it, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Check the link in the description to check out his channel and his series. That's all I got for today, and I'll see y'all later.